Episode 4, the In-Schape podcast, with your hosts, the Shapers. I'm Josh of Comedy.
And I'm Adriana.
And in today's episode, we're going to talk about cheating. No, not the cheating like me and her cheat on each other. Not the cheating you see on Real Housewives of Orange County. Not the cheating you see on IG every day. We're talking about cheating your diet. How to avoid cheating your diet. Now, a lot of times people will set themselves up on a meal plan, or a macro plan, or a nutritional guidance plan. They'll have it in front of them. They'll go a couple days into their diet. But guess what? They see some Oreos. They see In-N-Out. They see those taquitos in the back of the freezer. And they can't resist them, and they cheat their diet. And they do this over and over again until they eventually give up on their diet. So today we're going to give you some tips on how to stay on your diet without cheating during the week so you can be successful and reach your goals. Now, the first aspect of staying on your diet and not cheating is having a daily plan. When you don't have a daily plan, you're more likely to add things in. Like, we don't put clients on macro plans, right?
Yeah, just from personal experience and also from my clients, macro is just a little bit harder because they're chasing calories. So, what if they, consume all their carbs in the beginning of their day and, at the end of the day, they're only left with the protein. Mm-hmm. They're going to, most likely they're going to end up, eating more carbs.
Okay, and with macro hunting and calorie hunting, clients tend to change their diet every day, right?
Yeah, they just pick items they want to eat. There's no consistency.
And you've seen clients add ridiculous stuff in because they think it fits their macros, right?
Yeah.
Like they'll add in granola bars,
or
ice cream,
cookies.
Cookies. So here's the idea, right? When you have a meal plan each day, that means you have a set guidance for how you're supposed to go through the day. That means you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 meals that you pre-make so you're ready to go. So that when you're hungry, you have the meal ready to go. That's why preparation is so key. Because when you have a meal plan, you're more likely to prepare for the day. So let's say it's 12 o'clock and I'm not on a meal plan. Most likely I didn't bring lunch with me because, get this, I'm macro hunting. So I feel like I have more options. But when you have more options, that means you're more likely to go to the things you want than the things you need. But if you're on a meal plan, that means you know what meal 2 is. You already prepared it. So you're hungry. You're looking around the office. You're like, oh, wait a minute. I have a meal with me. You pull the meal out. You eat it. A lot of times people cheating their diets comes down to when they're hungry, they don't have the food with them. If you're hungry, you don't have food with you, you're going to go eat at an outside source and cheat your diet. Like you've seen that with clients, when they're not prepared, they're more likely to cheat, right?
Yeah, and then also it sets up, success for your workout, right? So, you're going to have that pre-workout meal that's going to be consistent every day, that's going to fuel your workout, and that post-workout meal. So there's not going to be a lot of variability.
Yeah, so again, when you're on a meal plan, that means you have those daily objectives, similar to work. If you go into work each day and your boss doesn't give you things to do, what are you more likely to do? Procrastinate, not get the job done. There's too many options of things to do, so you're going to usually do the wrong thing, the thing you're not supposed to be doing. It's the same thing with meal planning. If you're not on a meal plan, you just have a calorie goal each day, you're more likely to go in the wrong places and lead yourself awry, right? So having that meal plan set on a daily basis is what's first key to making sure you're staying on your diet, you're not cheating. Now, segueing, say you have a meal plan, right? You have meal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chicken breast, yada, 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 right? You know the meal plans you get from bodybuilding coaches, transformation coaches. These are solid meal plans that will work, that will transform you. But get this, you get bored. You hear that a lot from clients, right? They get bored of the meal plan.
Yeah, you get tired. I mean, personally too, you get tired of the same protein options, same carb options. So, I mean, it's okay to switch it up as long as you know what you're substituting.
Again, so that's really what the second topic is here. We're talking about understanding substitution options. Now, when you're on a meal plan, your substitution options aren't going to be huge. They're not going to be a wide list of things, but it's going to be a long enough list that you can satisfy your need to change it up, right? But remember, when we're subbing things out on a meal plan, you can't just sub out chicken for steak. Like, why can't you sub out chicken for steak?
Just, the higher fat content in steak.
Yeah, you can't just sub chicken for steak and salmon for white fish. It all has to line up so the meal plan still has the same structure, integrity, right? So again, when we have substitution options for our meal plan, we have to make sure it lines up with our macros, lines up with the timing in the meal plan. But you'll be surprised how many options there are for each meal plan for there to be substitutions. White rice can be subbed for sweet potatoes, Oats can be subbed for cream of rice. white fish for chicken breast, and on and on and on and on and on, right? So like you'll give your clients these substitute options when you give them a meal plan, right?
Yeah, I'll give them substitutions, just because, I get it, things get boring and it just, allows for sustainability.
Yeah, but there's also an understanding you got to have. You're trying to make change. You're trying to get better shape. Change is uncomfortable. You're not always going to have a bunch of options during the week. You don't need them. So there does come those days where you have a military mindset. You say, I'm trying to get in shape here. I'll eat the meal. The meal's going to taste good. You know it's going to taste good. I mean, this is first world food here. But you got to understand that you got to stay within your sub options. And sometimes you just got to eat the meal. Now, what can we do to these meals on a daily basis to help us avoid cheating but give us a different flavor? Seasonings, condiments, right? So you allow your clients to change up seasonings and condiments, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of options. There's like sugar-free barbecue. You can use mustard, sugar-free teriyaki sauce. So,
Seasonings, yeah.
Seasonings too, yeah. Like everything but bagel. Trader Joe's has a whole bunch of good seasonings.
But 0 calories.
0 calories, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. She was saying, and 0 calorie seasoning, you'll see clients switch it up frequently. Clients do that a lot.
Yeah, just to get a different flavor.
Well, again, so when we're talking about condiments, we're not talking about marination and your high sugar barbecue sauce, your high sugar ketchup. We're talking about 0 to 10 calorie condiments, and we're talking about 0 calorie seasonings, right? If you keep switching up those seasoning blends, the food's gonna taste better and different. And not necessarily better, but different, because we're talking about different here. So there's another option for you to avoid cheating. And I know what you're asking, Josh, how's that gonna help me avoid cheating? A lot of times people feel like they have a need for a different taste in their taste palette. So they might go 3-4 weeks eating pretty good, but they'll grow tired of the meal plan. They'll grow tired of the substitution options, and now they want to cheat. But if they just change the flavor combination, that will satisfy those taste buds that they feel they really need to satisfy, right? Because remember, the body doesn't really care for chocolate cake, right? Doesn't really care for burgers. Like, the body isn't really telling you you need to go to In-N-Out. There's a mental to a physiological connection, right? So a lot of times when you're feeling stressed, either from work, from a diet, from a training, you're trying to satisfy your stress, right? So what in the past have you done to satisfy your stress? What do people usually do to satisfy their stress? They'll drink,
It's like comfort eating, right? You turn to the foods you enjoy, like ice cream or cookies, and normally, if you're like going through it or you're having a bad day, it's going to turn to like a binge or something.
Yeah, so that exactly. So you remember, everything means something. Your body's always gathering data throughout your life on how you deal with triggering points. If you notice when stressful situations happen, I'm going to say it again. That's a tongue twister. Stressful situations, all right? Enunciation. When those situations happen, you'll understand, like, I usually do the same behavioral things. Like, I know when I get stressed, I usually freak out, right? I start having emotional swings. I do it every time because that's what my body has been taught to do because of my past behaviors. It's the same thing for dieting. It's the same thing for training, everything. If you've consistently done something in the past to deal with your emotions, your mind is going to push you to do those things again. Same thing with people who are on drugs. That's how they always have their trigger points. They go back to drugs.
Yeah, and
right?
I think it can also go the opposite way. Like some people, when they're emotionally stressed or anxious, they actually don't eat.
Yeah, exactly.
So it can go both ways.
Yeah, exactly. So whatever that trigger is, you're going to go back to it. So that's the point of the meal plan, having substitution options, condiments, and seasonings, is that when those things happen, you can change it up for that moment. All right? Stay within your meal plan and satisfy some of those needs, right? Now, furthermore, again, usually we're dealing, and this might seem weird, right? But sometimes your body is craving, and when I say your body, it's more of your mind, right? It's a lot of times it could be your mind working with your physiological. The body's very complex, right? So sometimes your body is craving a crunch or a sweet, right? But you think, I gotta have something that's crunchy, that's crazy, or I gotta have something super sweet like chocolate cake. But you can do other things. Like for crunch, what would you give clients?
I mean, you can incorporate rice cakes, as your carb source.
And like what, like a cucumber maybe?
Or cucumber, yeah. Cucumbers with lime. That's actually a really good trick, when you're hungry and you want like a different texture.
What do you put on the lime? What do you put on the cucumber?
Tahini or
tahini. Yeah, you put down lime. And again, with the sweeteners, you can do, again, Crystal Light, some of the 0 calorie sweeteners that you can find at the store.
Or stevia extract.
And I know what you're saying. Josh, artificial. I want to avoid artificial, Josh. Artificial causes cancer. Artificial is bad for you. That's the least of your worries when you're trying to get in shape. So often people are worried about these artificial preservatives. that have very little tangible effects on your body versus the bad stuff you're doing to your body. I know people who are on prescription drugs from the doctor, who eat junk all day, are over 30% body fat, have high blood pressure, come into me, sit across from me, I give them the meal plan, and they say, Josh, what's this? This is artificial. I'm like, dude, that's the last of your worries right now. So understand and have perspective, all right? Use the things that are going to help you long term. So again, we got some of those fixes there. So again, we have substitution options, meal plan, condiments, sweeteners, right? Understanding the crunch factor within a diet, understanding the sweet factor within a diet, understanding your full tool that you can deal to avoid cheating. Now the next thing, scheduling your cheat meal. So you usually have clients schedule your cheat meal, right?
Yeah, so scheduled cheat meals are usually after check-ins, and it's just one meal. Make sure you get back on the plan right after, but just scheduling that cheat meal at the end of the week, after check-ins, after you've been dieting Monday through Friday, it's rewarding for the client.
Exactly. So what are we talking about right now? Scheduling cheat meal. That might seem foreign to some of you guys. So say you're on a meal plan, right? A cheat meal is theoretically a break from the diet, right? A cheat meal is a free meal that usually trainers will give their clients each week, coaches will give their clients each week, more as a way of rewarding you for a good, hard week. Now, when you get to elite level training, we do use cheat meals for other reasons, like making the metabolism go, improving the body, but that's like at a high level. We can go on that later. But we're talking about a cheat meal on a general plan. That's usually your reward at the end of the week because you trained hard, you lost your weight, you gained whatever, you gained some muscle, whatever it might be. You reached your metrics, and that is your reward. So that's why we save the cheat meal for a Saturday or a Sunday, because you get a full work week. And during the work week, usually, you don't need to cheat. You don't need to cheat at all during the work week because you're on a strict schedule. You have work, you have your meal plan, your workout time, you go to sleep. So putting that cheat meal on Saturday, what does that do for you? Scheduling it, what does it do for you? It allows you in those tough times where you don't want to continue on your diet, you don't want to go to the gym, to look forward. Look at it this way. If I'm at work and I'm having a tough work week, and I know on Saturday I'm going to a rave, I'm going to a party, I'm going on a date, I met a guy on Tinder, I met a woman on Tinder, I'm going on a hot date, it's coming this Saturday, then you're going to have a better time getting through your work week. It happens for all of us. If you're going on vacation on Friday, then you can get through Monday through Thursday because you're looking forward to Friday. Same thing with the diet. If I know on Saturday I get to go have whatever. What would you eat for a cheat meal?
I love In-N-Out.
Yeah, say you want to get In-N-Out on Saturday, right? If you know on Thursday you're getting In-N-Out on Saturday, Thursday night when you're craving In-N-Out, you can say, oh, wait a minute, I can stay on the meal plan, wait till Saturday, do my check-in. Now, you mentioned taking the weight before the cheat meal. Why is that important?
Yeah, so you want to make sure, you don't mess up your progress during the week or your results. Because if you cheat, say you cheat the day before your check-in or 2 days before your check-in, you're going to be retaining some water because of the higher sodium content. So you just want to make sure it doesn't mess up your progress or your results for the week.
Yeah, and more on that point, you want to know if you actually accomplished something during the week. The one thing that will drive me crazy, right? Literally, if I see a check-in on Saturday and the client didn't lose any weight. So I go through the week, I say, what happened? They said, well, I was perfect, but Friday night, me and the girls went out. I'm like, well, you should have told me that so we could have took your weight on Friday morning. All right, so we had an accurate reading. Remember, the only way to progress yourself is if you have data. So we need data to see if you're improving. If you don't know if you're improving, how do you know if the plan's working? So make sure you always take your weight before the cheat meal that morning. So if you're going to have a cheat meal on a Friday, make sure you get your weight at least on a Friday morning while you're clean, while you've been on the diet, so at least you know where you're at, all right? And again, scheduling that cheat meal is good for your mental 100%. So when I tell clients this Saturday, I'm going to let you go and do your thing, they're usually way better during the week. Now, let's say you cheat on a Wednesday, right? You feel terrible. You broke your diet. What's the most important thing to do the next day?
Just get back on your plan. I know a lot of us, I've had that happen to me, when I first started, and you want to go to the gym, you want to do 2 hours of cardio, you want to burn off that cheat meal. Mm-hmm. But honestly, it's not going to matter. Just get back on your plan the next day and just start fresh. Yeah,
you got to understand this, man. Everybody messes up. Bodybuilders mess up. Athletes mess up. The thing that separates people who are going to be in shape the rest of their lives and people aren't is that when they have a bad day, they get back in it the next day. If they have a bad week, they gather themselves. We all have bad weeks. You have a bad week on your diet, you gather yourself, you get ready the next Monday. Again, you don't want to fall off. I have so many people, I hear hundreds of stories throughout my career of someone who had a bad day, let it turn into a bad week, which turned into a bad month, which turned into a bad year, 5 years now, I'm meeting them 8 years later. So remember, you have to meet it with aggression. So if you cheat your diet, let it live. It's all good. You probably worked out that day anyway. Just get your butt back in the gym the next day. Get back to work. Let it motivate you. And if you cheat on a Wednesday, sorry, you don't get to cheat on Saturday. So if you had a cheat meal schedule on Saturday, you cheat on Wednesday, say, all right, well, I'm going to push through the weekend. Get this thing done. All right? That also builds discipline because you're saying, all right, I got my cheat meal. I got to work throughout the week, through the weekend. All right? That's self-discipline to not double up on the cheat meal, triple up on the cheat meal. Now, tangibly, when we're talking about tangibly now, this is another important point. If you're dieting hard and perfect, and you're doing your meal plan, you're training hard, you're doing your cardio, and for whatever reason you break your diet like once or like you off schedule once during your first 6 weeks, is that going to affect your body? No. Is it going to deter your progress? No. But the idea is we just always want to train your mind to stay disciplined. So again, one meal won't make or break you, but several meals will. And usually one meal off schedule will lead to several bad meals, right? So,
yeah.
Right, you tell clients that it's not about being perfect, just try being your best, right?
Yeah, I mean, don't aim for perfection. I get it. We're human. It's going to happen. It happens to all of us. So just get back on your plan right after.
Yeah, but also there's this, you got to take responsibility, man. If you're trying to change your body in months after years of being out of shape, you got to put the pedal to the metal here. You have to strive to be perfect, like for that time period. So remember, over the course of your plan, the first couple weeks, that's when you're messing up the most. You're just trying to get more consistent, trying to build this into a lifestyle. But there should come a point in your program where you're just militant and you're on top of it because you're getting results. Remember, and this is a great segue because the number one thing that prevents cheating is results. You'll notice the most disciplined people look the best. They value their body. You'll notice the people who don't look where they want to look, they devalue their body, so they're more likely to cheat. They're like, oh, well, whatever, who cares? I'm out of shape anyway. But when you start to get results every week, there's two things that happen. One, you're scared to lose your progress, so you're always on top of it. And two, you're excited for what's coming forward, right? You usually see clients who are getting results get better and better at being disciplined.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, they feel more motivated. They love the results. They know what they're doing is working. And then also like understanding, like going back to your point is like, if you do mess up, being aware of it and like not being like, oh, it's okay, whatever, I'll be better tomorrow. But understanding like, okay, I messed up. I have to be good this week. I'm not going to let it happen again.
Exactly. So again, results will be the theme of this entire channel. Results is what builds confidence, is what builds self-determination, and what keeps people on track. I feel you. If I'm not getting results, then on a diet, say you're on a diet for like 6 weeks, you're not getting results, then yeah, you feel like cheating more. But if you're on a real diet, you would be getting results. So don't fool yourself. Remember, if you are not losing weight, not losing fat, not getting better shape, and you're on a meal plan, and you say you're following it, there's something off. Because there's no way you got a meal plan that's that off where you're not getting results. So you got to look yourself in the mirror, all right? Unless you just have a terrible trainer, which can happen, that's not leading the right way. But if you're on a dietary plan, you should be dropping pretty regularly. And that's another issue, guys. Progress is not some mystery. Results is not a mystery. Especially when it comes to losing weight. And that's the majority of people that are going to look at these videos. People who want to lose weight and lose fat, if you're not losing weight after 5 weeks, either you're messing up or the person leading you is messing up. But most likely you're messing up and the person that's leading you is a dummy. So they're not going to call you out, or maybe they don't have the tools to call you out. All right? If you're trying to put effort into something that's not working, then you need to find a new solution. So again, let's not get off track. I'll get off track on that topic.
Another good point too is like understanding, when you're trying to lose weight, you're going to be in a calorie deficit, and it's okay to feel hungry at times. It's just making sure, you stick to your plan. I mean, of course, you're not going to be in a calorie surplus. So, there's going to be some times where you're hungry.
Right.
And some tricks that I tell my clients are like, if they like coffee, drink some coffee throughout the day. You can also do like decaf. Yeah. That usually helps with your sweet craving.
And the water's important, keeping the water high.
Water's going to, keep you full throughout the day.
And the fiber, right? You want to use
fiber. Your oats, your veggies.
Yeah, so fiber, again, there's a difference between being like hungry and starving, all right? Like, you're not starving. There's people around the world that only eat 1 meal a day. If you're eating 5 lean meals a day and you say you're starving, you're just being mentally weak. You're not focused on what you need to do. You're uncomfortable. You're uncomfortable with the fact that you can't just eat whatever you want. You're uncomfortable with the fact you're in a deficit. You're in a deficit. That means your body's literally consuming itself. That means you're going to feel at times a little bit weaker. At times you're going to feel a little bit more hungry. But honestly, that's something you have to deal with and push through. And if you're with the right coach, they will lead you through that process, all right? But you're not starving. You got to get that out of your head. Starving is not having any food. That's starving. I've had clients on 6 meals, 200 to 300 calories each of those meals. These are small women, right? And they claim they're starving. Say you're not starving. You're just craving. You just want to get off the plan. You want something else. You're not starving, all right? So again, you might be wondering, like, Josh, why do you speak so harshly, right? You have to look in the mirror when it comes to dieting. Like, you can't have best of both worlds. You can't go out and party, eat whatever you want, and then get progress. A lot of people want both. You can't do both. You have to sacrifice a little aspect of your life so you can get the gains out of the more important aspect of your life, which is health, all right? So again, with cheating, to sum it up, we have proper planning, right? Mm-hmm. We have seasoning and condiments, switching it up, substitution options. We have, what else we have?
Scheduling your cheat meal.
Scheduling your cheat meal. And then what else do we do?
No macro hunting or
no macro hunting, no calorie hunting. Basically just having a plan, understanding how to manipulate that plan, and following the plan, and then rewarding yourself for following that plan one night or morning, a week, whatever it is for your cheat meal. And lastly, don't let a cheat meal turn into a cheat day, right? That's some of those certain clients, right?
Cheat day into a bad weekend, into a bad week.
But just in general though, like a cheat meal is not a cheat day, right? A cheat day is going to throw off all your margins. Remember, with losing weight, losing fat, it's all about calories in, calories out, right? So each 7-day period, you're trying to get yourself in a certain deficit. If one of those 7 days, you're just going a plus 2,000, you don't go to the gym, and you're just eating junk all day, you're not going to see gains on the rest of your plan as far as losing the weight, losing fat, accurately tracking yourself, and keeping your metabolism hot, right? So we went over a lot, but the main thing to remember out of this whole thing is get a plan, follow the plan, execute the plan, and then make sure you're checking in and then rewarding yourself. Because if you're cheating your diet every week you're cheating your diet, then you're putting yourself through unnecessary hell. Because some of the days you're doing great and you're sacrificing, and some of the days you're throwing it away, so you're like going nowhere slowly. Honestly, the worst feeling is when you're trying and you're not succeeding. If you're just being a lazy piece of, like I've been at that point in my life where I'm just a lazy piece of what? Then it's a lot easy, you know what I'm saying? Because you're like, I'm not getting results because I'm lazy. That's easy to fall. That's how Americans are. They say, you know what? I just don't look good right now because I don't want to. And they feel comfortable like that. They said, when I do, I will. So you don't want to be that person. The worst feeling is being the person above that, where you're trying and you're not seeing results. So if you're trying, you should be seeing results. And if you're not, find a fix and look yourself in the mirror. This has been episode 4 of the In-Schape podcast, talking about cheating. We'll be back for more tomorrow with another episode. Until then, stay on your goddamn diet. My name is Josh of Comedy.
And I'm Adriana.
We're the Shapers. We'll see you guys soon.